Hey there, everyone. It is time for Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. I'm very excited about this one because it brings up a topic that I think a lot of us think about, and it's, are you happy? What brings happiness? What is happiness? I actually have found happiness to be a very interesting issue to think about with myself because growing up in the evangelical world, I was taught that because happiness is temporal and it tends to be fleeting, that that's not something in our life to pursue. And I honestly don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I agree in the sense that I don't think pursuing happiness all the time is going to really benefit us because life is life, things happen, and sometimes happiness cannot come without the turmoil and without the work to get there. But I think where that view and that theology became very unhealthy is there was some sort of stigma that joy was a thing because that's the fruit of the Spirit, and it's very separate and different from happiness. Now, I don't know. That's not something I personally have studied or seen what the difference of the words are, or if there is even a difference of the words, or if happiness and joy are just nuanced. But what I do find fascinating is Iceland decided that they got a governmental psychologist to take research on figuring out how their society can flourish. And when there is the annual happiness report, they go ahead and collect the data and see what they can do better to benefit their people. So this researcher basically focuses on issues that happen in the country like inequality, recessions, and education policies, and collects research to see where that's causing happiness and where it's causing a downgrade of sadness or a lack of happiness per se. And it's really interesting. The interview is phenomenal. I would say take a look at my link in the comments to look at it. You'll definitely find some really interesting views on happiness and what causes it for people, what causes it to decline. I was really, I had some eye-opening experiences with the article, and I hope you all do too. All right, so now we're on to the next news. First of all, I wanted to just talk about what happened last week with what I was talking about of the Bachelorette rumors about Claire Crawley. It is true, it is confirmed that Claire Crawley refused to come out of her hotel room to continue filming the show. Supposedly 12 days, just 12 days after filming, she fell in love with a contestant named Dale Moss and wanted to leave with him. So then the producers were scrambling to figure out who to replace her with, and of course it is the one and only Tasha Adams. Now, I've heard a lot of people just over social media say that they are very excited for this change for several different reasons. One is they just didn't think Claire was gonna be a good Bachelorette. They thought she was gonna be too diva and whatever you want to put into that word. I'm honestly not sure. I had only seen her in seasons like Bachelor in Paradise and Winter Games. I didn't see her on Juan Pablo's where she got really far and she became very iconic at that point. I would say I have seen that diva aspect from her, but for me, it was hard to tell if maybe that was just cameras or that's what her character was supposed to be, that sort of issue. But she's being replaced by Tasha Adams, and I want to ask you all what you think of that. I've heard different opinions about Tasha Adams as well. I've heard more positive ones about her, but I have heard some people think that she is manipulative or that she tries to victimize herself in situations, and I do think that's interesting. I am not sure what to think. I have personally seen her to be very sweet and upbeat and happy, but I honestly don't know too. It is hard to tell. But I think, kind of like what happened with Peter Weber, you start to see more of the characters when they are the star of the show. Now, to give Peter Weber a little bit more grace and credit, it's really hard to be in that position. I'm not justifying anything that he did because he could have handled so many things way better. But I think the reason why so many people loved Peter on Hannah Brown's season is because you saw this guy who was just all in for this girl and had total focus, had total attention, was so in love. And I think Peter, in the role of chasing someone, he's good at that. But to have the opposite, where he had to pick all these people chasing him, it was just way too overwhelming for him. And so I think a lot more of character is shown. People are the star of the show. Again, Peter Weber, I didn't see him as insecure as he was until I saw his season. But I'm going to give the guy grace because I don't know if I could do any better in a situation like that. Another Bachelor news that recently happened a few days ago is Becca Kufrin and her former fiance, Garrett Irigoyen, just broke up. So they had been engaged for about 2 years after being the winner of Becca Kufrin's season, and there's been a lot of drama that's come up about their relationship. First of all, prior to the drama, when they actually were just engaged and it was before it aired on the show, there was rumors about some things that Garrett liked on social media. I think it was of the nature of white supremacy and some racist comments and some racist posts. And I'm not sure, I personally haven't seen what those things are, but a lot of concern came up with that. And Garrett's response at that point was just that he was going to learn from the incident about how influential you can be when you just hit like on a post, and that it was a learning opportunity and he was going to move on from it and whatever. Well, fast forward now to the most recent Black Lives Matter movement. The biggest issue that's been causing issues in the relationship, well, I shouldn't say biggest because I'm not in the relationship, but that we are aware of, is Garrett posted a blackout post for Black Lives Matter and then had nothing to say. The very next day, he posted the police Blue Lives Matter flag up and had paragraphs of things to say about that. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting police and such. I don't know if maybe his issue was he didn't use the right words, or he didn't use the right timing, or maybe he does believe in some more racist things. I don't know. But it definitely caused a rift with him and Becca, and lo and behold, we hear a few days ago that they both broke up, which is very sad. I actually was really rooting for them as a couple, and it seemed like they had a lot of common ground in the sense of interest, like hiking and going out and having those type of adventures, but I don't think their personal views matched in a lot of areas. But what do you all think of that? Do you think that Garrett is a racist? Do you think that he put in a comment that was just not a good time to do it? Do you think that, Rachel Lindsay, so the very first Black Bachelorette, had a lot of things to say about Garrett, and one of the things she mentioned is that he's a piece of shit. So what do you guys think of what Rachel Lindsay's point of view is all this, and how she's coming into it as well as a very strong Black woman who is very iconic for the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as in Bachelor Nation, where that's predominantly white people? Do you guys think that what she has perception of Garrett is true, or that she is just spouting off? Who knows? It's hard because I've heard some people say that Rachel Lindsay just spouts off, but I also don't know if I really have a right to even have a view of that for somebody who has been black their whole life and has experienced what injustice and inequality has come from that. So that's my Tell Me Something Good Tuesday for you all. I guess it's kind of become Bachelor Tuesday. By the way, when The Bachelor does come back on, it's way better to watch it on Tuesdays. I have no idea why, but you know, Bachelor's always on Monday. We have Bachelor Monday, but it's totally about Bachelor Tuesday, you guys. Like, for some reason, that is just the sweet spot to watch it. So watch it on Tuesdays instead of Mondays and try to avoid spoilers if you can. All my love and abundance. Take care.